last hip hop topic before we transition into other stuff. So I sent you a video clip either today or yesterday.
I saw it. Yeah, God, Jesus.
So here's the context for the audience. The person I'm talking about is an artist from Cleveland by the name of Doeboy. Before I go in, I'm going to give him his praise. The kid's been grinding for a while. Now, I don't want to call him a kid because he's actually almost 30 years old. He's a grown man.
Okay.
I need people to put a pin in that when I talk about the situation.
Mm-hmm.
He's been grinding. He's been putting out mixtapes since 2010, since he was 16.
Mm-hmm. He
had some classic mixtapes. So he had a Boys in the Hood mixtape, and this is where I remember him from because he had a popular producer by the name of Lex Luger.
Okay.
If you understand production, then you remember who Lex Luger is. Also had mixtapes with the hosted by the Trapaholics. See, these are classic mixtapes. When you got Trapaholics on a mixtape, that meant something back in 2011 and 12 and so forth.
Right.
So he's no rookie to the industry. He built his platform up so much that he got songs with Moneybagg Yo, got songs with Future. He had LeBron James quoting his lyrics.
Wow.
So this is a big art. This ain't no little nobody. This is a big artist out the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, he released a track with a 9-year-old, Lil RT.
Oh, Lord.
And you might say, what's wrong with that? You know, the little kids deserve their shine if they're talented. It's not that he was on a track with the 9-year-old. It was what the 9-year-old was saying in the song. The 9-year-old was spitting pure genocide. And I'm not saying 9-year-old like he looked 9. No, he's literally 9. He wasn't 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah. It was a baby, a 9-year-old. Talking about get the Glock, shoot him in his face. This all the 9-year-old was rapping. And the reason why I'm passionate and talking about this because I have an 8-year-old.
Yeah, my son's about to be 7.
I also have, and I'm not going to tell y'all how many or what their names is or who they related to, but I also have numerous nephews. Too many. I done lost count of how many nephews I got in my family.
Right.
So I'm an uncle, I'm a father. I know what 8-year-olds are doing, even the advanced ones. They're not rapping genocide.
Yeah.
SMD, she gonna suck my da-da-da-da-da. And then after that, if you talk to me, I'm gonna put you on the ground, got the Glock, walk him down. I'm like, huh? So that's not the most, I'm just giving you guys the context.
Right.
The context. The part that made me want to speak out is when he started getting backlash, instead of him saying, you know what, I hear you guys, he got on social media and said, well, you guys, I don't know if you're from my type of neighborhood, but the kids in my neighborhood are getting down like that at 8, 9, and 10. And when they're getting down like that, I just wanted to help the little homie out, and this is his way out the hood. Huh? I had to listen to it again. Yo, you know, you guys are tripping. Y'all hating on him. This is actually going to help him more than it's going to hurt him.
Right.
Excuse me? How is a 9-year-old literally rapping about got the Glock, I'm going to shoot him in his face, walk him down, going to help a 9-year-old? You're literally speaking genocide. I'm from the era that words mean something.
Yeah.
When you put that in the universe, that stuff can come back to you. So it was the fact that knowing when I looked up his age, I'm like, yo, you're a 30-year-old man. All the people in the music video are standing around this little boy encouraging it. So I'm like, do y'all see the optics? A whole bunch of grown black men are around a 9-year-old while he's talking about shooting somebody in the face with a Glock. Now, before I finish giving my spill, what are your thoughts on that?
Pathetic and sad. Pathetic and sad. You have a 9-year-old kid. Wow, my God.
By the name of Lil RT.
Where's his parents, man?
The song was called 60 Miles.
Let me give you an example. I remember Illegal and crisscrossing on them, and they
Thank you for bringing that
like
up.
That. They wasn't rhyming like that.
That's where I'm gonna go.
They was only like 4 more years older, and they didn't even rhyme like that. What are you doing, man?
So when he said I wanted to help him out, you got to remember I come from the era of Lil Bow Wow, and I'm gonna give Lil Bow Wow his credit, even though a lot of the internet be trying to shame him and try to play him. No, Lil Bow Wow and Lil Romeo enter in the game before they were 10. And what JD did for Lil Bow Wow, having writers like Nelly write for him, they turned him into a young child superstar. They had him writing about age-appropriate things.
Right.
They had him rapping to little girls his age. And then he grew into the material as a teenager as time went on. That's how you help a young child if you really sincerely wanted to help him.
Yeah.
And I'm going to talk about some stuff outside of hip hop just as a culture, as men. But just put a pin in that. If you wanted to help him, Doeboy, a.k.a. Mr. Mustafa, because you have a Muslim/African name. So I take some offense to that too, because when your parents or you converted your name, they pitting something on you. They're speaking life into you. That name is important. So you have to act like that outside of hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody in your family, whether it's you or whether it was your parents, had knowledge of self to name you that. So you in return have to hold that responsibility, because now you yourself ain't 21, 22. I looked at the Wikipedia. The guy's 29. He'll be 30 in 2 months. You're a grown man. You're a grown man.
Mm-hmm.
If you really wanted to help the young 9-year-old, the best way, hey, sign him up for some music lessons.
I don't know.
Sign him up for music. Buy him an MPC. No, seriously.
Yeah.
Because you know where I'm gonna go with this.
Yeah.
If he learns how to make music, maybe he can produce your album.
Yeah.
You know who was a young prodigy? A-Rap Music from Dipset. He was like 13, 14 when he was on that MPC starting out.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got in the game and became a monster.
Right.
So I'm not saying don't get him involved in hip hop. Either write age appropriate lyrics or get him learning how to play instruments.
Mm-hmm.
That would take him farther than rapping this. Pardon me, because what I'm scared of is, God forbid, something happens to that young boy. How would you face his family then?
Facts.
When he's 9, 10, 11, if somebody says, yo, ain't that little kid that was been talking like this for the last 4 years?
You mean like what, in power, right? Yeah. The kids get down.
Not
like
just
that.
in power. There's a real life story. I'll give an example. There's a story that comes out of Chicago. I guess the kid name is Little Yummy.
Mm-hmm.
People in Chicago already know what I'm talking about. Go look up the documentary on a little kid named Little Yummy and that story. Then you'll correlate with what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
That's just on the music industry side. But now I want to speak not as Son of a Jones from Envy Online. I want to speak as Deshaun to Mr. Mustafa, man to man. Somebody who's a few years older than you. I'm in my 30s. You're about to be 30.
Mm-hmm.
We have to take a better responsibility for the young kids around us growing up. I'm not saying be in their business. I know you're not their father. I know you're not so-and-so. But if we have that much influence, if these kids want to be like us, we can easily steer them in the right direction.
Right.
You got something you want to add?
No, I'm just amazed that I never thought I'd see the day where I see a 9-year-old rapping like that. And when I saw the video, because I think you sent it to me.
Send you the video
I think like 45 seconds in, I was
You had to turn it off.
Yeah, I was like, no, I can't listen to this. This is just, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I know what they're going to try to say. Oh, hey, he's just a kid. It's cute. It's going to sell. Why would you want a kid? Why would you want a little kid? Why would you listen to a little kid rapping like that? First of all, if you're a grown adult, that's not cute or funny at all. Second of all, I know I wouldn't let my son listen to nothing like that. I don't know. Mm-mm.
I guess what it got me is when he was like, yo, you guys, if you're from the type of neighborhood I'm like, then you know that the little kids get down like that. Mm-hmm. Since I'm a few years older than him, I'm going to give him some game. When we were like that, if you were trying to act out at 8, 9, you would get smacked behind your head, and your older cousin should have kicked you in your behind and said, yo, go pick up a football and go somewhere.
Yeah.
See that little basketball court? You go over there.
Right.
You too young right now.
Right.
Come back when you 13, 14, or 15. Not that I'm condoning it. Because I still don't want to see the 13-year-olds do that.
Right.
But you got to wait till you get some age, man.
Right.
Now, to the point that I said, when I told you to put a point in it, when you said Suge Knight got Tupac killed, I want to touch on that. The reason why I agree with what you said is, now that we're older, see, when Tupac died, I was a child. I was like 10, 11, or 12.
Yeah,
I was a child.
Yeah.
Now that I'm older and I can review the situation, you're 100% right. He was a few years older than Tupac. He knew the culture. He grew up in that, and he had influence. He could have easily said, yo, Pac, I understand you want to be loyal, but you need to chill out. You didn't grow up here. Yeah,
Right.
you came over here when you was 17, 18, but you didn't grow up out here.
Right. Right.
So look, you want to be down, cool, but I need you to stay away from this.
Right.
But he was encouraging it. We heard the stories of beating up people in a death row studio session in the bathrooms and so forth. I'm not going to get into that. So yeah, ultimately his decision making got him killed.
Right.
Going over to Doeboy, you allowing this and pretty much telling people in his reply, he's like, well, if y'all don't like it, F y'all, suck my.
Wow.
What will be on you if, God forbid, something happens to this 9-year-old or even in a year or two when he's 10 or 11? How would you be able to handle that outside of sending a few dollars to the family for a funeral?
Facts.
Because I'm going to go here with this.
Facts.
Again, this is Deshaun talking to Mr. Mustafa.
Right, right, right.
Here's one of the saddest things I saw growing up in our communities. Have you ever been to a funeral of somebody who died of gun violence?
Yeah.
I've been to a few funerals.
Yes.
So what started to happen to me is, obviously the first couple ones you're in shock because they happened when I was very young, 17, 18, 19. The last two that I went to, I'm not going to say their names because their families is still out here.
Right.
One of the worst thing that I noticed at the funerals was not the parents crying, not looking at my homie in the casket, not looking at his kids crying, was when I glared over to the right and I saw those supposed OGs that was around him in the corner looking goofy, and they couldn't look the family in the eye because deep in their heart, they knew that they were the reason that that young man is sitting in the casket.
Yeah.
See, this ain't Son of a Jones. This is Deshaun talking to Mustafa. The saddest thing I saw at a funeral from one of my homies wasn't that he was in the casket, wasn't his parents crying, wasn't his child crying. It was me knowing the politics of our community and seeing some of the OGs in the corner looking the goofiest of the goofies. Because when they could have stopped them from doing certain things or could have influenced them to go certain ways, they was parading and cheering. But then when he's in the casket, everybody's fake crying in the corner. But you didn't have no words for the family. You couldn't look at the family in the eye because they know you the goofiest of the goofies. See, that OG word needs to get reprimanded from a lot of y'all because being an OG is about giving game, leading the youth away from the graveyard and the jail cell. A lot of y'all not. A lot of y'all just, y'all 27, 28, 29, 30 hanging around a bunch of teenagers, putting them in bad positions, knowing what's going to happen.
Right.
There's no way if you're 29, 30, 31, 27, you're of that age and you're hanging around a 17-year-old and just encouraging him to do what he's doing. And then when he goes to jail, oh man, the little homie was about that life. Oh man, my homie was a real one. He got shot 5 times.
Right.
You don't want to stop that? What type of OG is that?
Facts.
So that's the message I want to send to the Mustafas of our community. When you get of age and you have an influence and you have a platform, we as men have to hold ourselves responsible in how we raise up these young men. Because we claim we want that power. We claim we want to be the men of the community.
Yep.
We talk about how we want people to respect us. If we cannot protect the women and the young children in our community, especially the young men that look up to us, then we don't deserve that respect.
Yep.
Got anything you want to add on to that?
I just can't get over what I saw. I'm looking at this kid like, yo, you only 9 years old.
9 years old, and every other word out of his mouth on that record
crazy.
was, I got a Glock, I'm going to walk him down. I know some advanced 9-year-olds, and they still don't talk like that.
You think he's Kennard from The Wire or something? Like, what are you doing, man? Wow. I don't think there are words for that. I'm going to be honest with you. I got no
It's not words. It was just the imagery. I'm looking at a whole bunch of grown black men, especially looking up his age. He's about to be 30, condoning this. And then you get online instead of saying, all right, guys, I hear you. Well, y'all hating on a little homie. If y'all don't like it, SMD. Again, I'm going to say it again. The saddest thing I saw at one of my homies' funerals was not him laying in a casket, was not his children crying, was not the family crying, was looking in the corner to those so-called OGs that I know from the community and they was looking goofy because they couldn't look the family in the eye.
Mm.
A lot of y'all OGs need that title reprimanded. We need to get back to owning up to us when we're getting older. See, we come from an era where the older cats was cool with growing old.
Yeah.
Now y'all 30 and 40-year-olds want to take the 18-year-old spots. Y'all want to date the 20-year-olds. Y'all want to hang in the clubs with the 20-year-olds.
Oh God.
So y'all don't got no game to give the 15-year-olds, the 12-year-olds, and the 9-year-olds because y'all think like them. That's what I'm trying to get across. The reason why you can't separate yourself from the 12, 13, 14, 15-year-olds because y'all think like them.
Right.
Y'all dressing like them. Y'all hanging in the clubs they're in. Y'all trying to date their women, which is wrong. And then when you're looking for some type of guidance, you can't give it to them because you're in the same mindset. Wow. So I hope this message somehow reaches Mr. Mustafa, not Doeboy the rapper. Mm-hmm. Talking about Mr. Mustafa, the person that gave him that name. And then us as men start acting accordingly to the younger men around us so we can uplift our community. That's where I wanted to go with that. I had to touch on that because that was one of the most sickest things I ever saw. That's borderline child abuse.
Yo.
Sorry, you putting a 9-year-old in a music video rapping about shooting somebody with the Glock is borderline child abuse, and it needs to be said.
I just wonder where this kid's parents are at. That's what I want to know. I would love to know, like, where's this kid's parents at? Like, where are you? Like, yo, how did you see your son on that camera saying stuff like that, and not one of the parents came and like checked them about that? I'm just inquiring about that. Maybe it's just me.
Gotcha.